It was a normal Saturday night. My cousins and I were at my grandfather's house and we were eating dinner. We had just finished watching a horror story about a toy called Mr. Widemouth. Seconds after talking about Mr. Widemouth, a giant breadfruit fell from my grandfather's tree and slammed hard against his roof. We all screamed and ran and laughed, making jokes about it. We all just went into our beds and watched YouTube on our phones. I fell asleep about 30 minutes later and woke up to pitch darkness, and the only light was from our small staircase. I rubbed my blurry eyes, and then suddenly, I heard scratching at the window next to my bed. I looked out and saw nothing at first. I thought it could be my grandfather's dog, since my grandfather sometimes puts them there to sleep because of fighting. But no. I just shrugged it off and laid down next to my cousin, who we will call Kyle. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just stared at the ceiling. Then I heard the scratching again. I looked out and there was no one there. This time I started freaking out because one of the windows were slightly open. I freakishly woke up Kyle and told him. He didn't believe me and thought I was being dramatic. But when he heard the scratching, he then jumped up alerted and told me that we should go check it out. I said, "Hell no!" and I stopped him from going. Kyle and I were arguing over and over, but we decided to take a quick check. I know, stupid, right? We heard a creaking noise coming from the small staircase, as if someone were walking down it. Mind you, the staircase is in our house. We sped down the stairs and hid under our blankets, dripping with cold sweat. Then all I remembered was waking up the next morning to see the words on the window in blood red saying, "You should have checked inside the staircase." We didn't bother looking inside the staircase, but instead rushed into our grandfather's room and showed him. My grandfather was a 4th-degree black belt in karate, so we felt protected around him. My grandfather opened the small door at the side of the staircase, and a creepy old guy jumped at him with a knife. My cousins and I screamed and cried while my grandfather dodged the knife and took the guy down, beating him over and over until he was out cold. We called the police and they came and investigated, and then took the old guy out of the house. While he passed us, he gave me a creepy grin. But the man is now in prison for attempted murder and theft. I dread to think what would have happened if Kyle and I decided to check inside the staircase ourselves.